You've probably been told your whole life that drinking tea is one of the absolute best things you can do for your body. We see the commercials, we read the magazine covers, and we just accept it as a universal, unquestionable truth. But right now, this very morning, millions of people over the age of 60 are waking up, boiling water, and pouring themselves a cup of something they genuinely believe is healing them, when in reality, that exact cup is actively straining their heart, their liver, their digestion, and their joints. And the most frustrating part of all of this, the part that really bothers me as a doctor, is that the mainstream medical community rarely brings it up. You go to your routine checkups. You get your standard 15 minutes with your physician. You eat your vegetables. You try to stay on your feet and get your steps in. You take your prescribed medications, and yet you still feel this lingering fatigue. Or maybe you feel a sudden unexplainable unsteadiness when you stand up. Or perhaps there is this creeping heavy stiffness in your knees and knuckles that absolutely wasn't there last year. You mention it and you're told, well, you're just getting older. But what happens is after you cross that 60-year mark, the rule book for your biology completely changes and nobody hands you the new manual. Your liver simply does not clear out plant compounds at the same speed it used to. Your blood vessels become far more reactive to herbs and extracts. Your stomach acid levels drop, and your kidneys need significantly more time to filter out daily toxins. This means a beverage that is perfectly safe or even beneficial for a 30-year-old can act as a quiet daily wrecking ball in an older body. I am Dr. Michael Kent. I have spent my entire career looking closely at how the aging body processes exactly what we put into it day in and day out. And I cannot tell you how many times I've seen folks doing absolutely everything right, yet they are still struggling with brain fog, weird blood pressure drops, and chronic aching joints. And time after time, the culprit isn't some rare disease. It is hiding right there in plain sight, sitting in their pantry. They are drinking the wrong tea every single day, completely unaware of the invisible stress it's causing. The deeply encouraging truth we are going to explore today is that you absolutely do not have to give up your daily cup. There is a profound comfort in a hot drink. But there are 4 specific teas that are absolutely incredible for the aging body. Teas that can actually bring down full body inflammation by up to 49%, protect the cartilage in your joints, and sharpen your mind. We are going to cover those in detail. But before we get to the healing teas, we need to have a serious conversation about the 4 TEs you need to clear out of your cupboards right away. And we need to start with one that tricks almost everyone simply because it is constantly praised for heart health. Think about hibiscus tea. It has that beautiful, vibrant, deep red color. It tastes a little tart and refreshing. And everywhere you look, someone is calling it a natural miracle for lowering blood pressure. So naturally, folks over 60 drink it religiously to protect their heart. They brew a big picture of it, keep it in the fridge, and sip it throughout the afternoon. But if you are in that age bracket, and especially if you are taking any kind of prescription medication for your heart, your blood pressure, or fluid retention, hibiscus can actually turn incredibly dangerous. This plant is packed with organic compounds that act as very aggressive vasodilators. What that means is they force the walls of your blood vessels to relax and open up wide. Now, if you are young, highly active, and perfectly healthy, that's a nice little gentle drop in pressure. But if your cardiovascular system is already being managed by medication, drinking hibiscus can crash your blood pressure straight through the floor. It creates an exaggerated compounding effect that your body cannot compensate for quickly enough. Think about this feeling. You have been sitting in your favorite chair, maybe reading a book or watching the evening news. You've been resting there for an hour. You stand up to go to the kitchen to check on dinner, and suddenly the room tilts. Your vision gets a little blurry at the edges. A sort of gray vignette closes in. Your legs feel like they are suddenly made of lead, and you have to grab the back of the sofa or the door frame just to steady yourself while your heart races. A lot of folks just shake their head, wait for it to pass, and blame it on getting old. But that sudden dizziness, that terrifying lack of blood flow to the brain, is a classic sign of herb-induced hypotension. and it is a massive, widely ignored risk factor for falls. A recent clinical study in 2022 looked at this exact phenomenon and found that seniors combining hibiscus tea with their normal blood pressure medications had a 38% higher rate of these dangerous low blood pressure episodes. That is not a minor side effect you can just brush off. That is a real measurable danger. That is the difference between safely walking out to get your morning mail and ending up in the emergency room with a fractured hip or a shattered wrist. And the psychological damage of a fall is often worse than the physical. You lose your confidence. You stop going out as much. You start shrinking your world. If you notice you are feeling flushed, dizzy, or unusually weak in the legs after your daily cup, your body is sounding a massive alarm. You have to listen to it. Let's shift our focus to another cup people reach for, usually when they are trying to shake off that heavy afternoon slump. Yerba mate has exploded in popularity over the last decade. You hear everyone from internet personalities to well-meaning friends talking about how it gives you clean energy, wakes up your brain, and helps you focus without those terrible coffee jitters. For an older adult dealing with that slow, dragging feeling around 3 in the afternoon, or struggling to find the energy to play with grandkids, that promise sounds like exactly what you need. You think you are making a massive upgrade for your health by ditching the coffee, but there is a hidden insidious hazard here that has absolutely nothing to do with the caffeine. It is all about how this specific plant is traditionally manufactured and processed. Most of the yerba mate you buy at the grocery store, especially the traditional blends, is made by drying the leaves over open wood fires. That heavy smoke infuses the tea with compounds called polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. If that sounds like a nasty industrial chemical, it is. It is the exact same cancer-causing agent you inhale from cigarette smoke or ingest from a heavily charred, burnt piece of meat. When you drink this hot beverage every single day, you are basically bathing your throat, your esophagus, and your entire digestive tract in compounds that actively damage your cellular DNA over time. Studies tracking human diets over long periods have shown that people who make a daily habit of drinking smoked yerba mate have more than double the risk of developing cancers of the esophagus, stomach, and lungs. And to make matters worse, people tend to drink it scalding hot. That constant repeated exposure to near-boiling liquid continually burns and inflames the incredibly delicate lining of the throat. Think about those mornings where you wake up and you just have this persistent, raw, scratchy feeling in the back of your throat. Or maybe you find yourself constantly clearing a tickle that just won't go away no matter how much water you drink. Maybe you notice a sour, heavy, burning ache in your upper stomach right after you finish your cup. You might assume it is just a bit of morning acid reflux from something you ate the night before, but very often it is your esophageal tissues literally crying out from chronic daily irritation. For an aging body that simply does not repair cellular damage as fast as it used to, pouring a hot smoke-infused beverage down your throat every single day is taking an unnecessary and frankly dangerous gamble with your cellular health. Yes, there are unsmoked air-dried versions out there, but honestly, with your immune surveillance naturally slowing down as you age, why risk it? It is a habit far better left alone completely when there are so many healing alternatives. That brings us to something so incredibly common it is probably sitting on your kitchen counter right now. Plain traditional black tea, specifically when you add a splash of milk and a spoonful of sugar. This is just a classic, comforting, deeply ingrained ritual. People sip it while reading the morning paper. They serve it to guests and they think absolutely nothing of it. It feels like the safest thing in the world. But when you are over 60, preparing your tea this exact way sets off a quiet chain reaction that actively starves your bones and drastically ramps up joint pain over the years. Black tea on its very own is absolutely full of tannins. These are naturally occurring bitter compounds that are notorious for grabbing onto essential minerals in your gut and stubbornly refusing to let them go. When you have an older digestive tract, your ability to efficiently pull calcium, magnesium, and iron from your daily meals is already compromised. Your stomach acid is weaker, and your gut lining is less permeable to nutrients. When you flood that sensitive system with heavy tannins, you are actively blocking the exact minerals your body is begging for. You are blocking the calcium needed to keep your bones from going brittle, and you are blocking the magnesium required to keep your muscles from cramping. We actually have robust data showing that older adults who drink multiple cups of strong black tea a day suffer from measurably lower bone mineral density. But then you add the milk and the sugar, and you take a minor problem and turn it into a perfect metabolic storm. The casein protein found in dairy actively binds up whatever good healing antioxidants were actually left in the black tea, rendering them completely useless to your cells. You are drinking it for health, but the milk neutralizes the benefit. And then the sugar triggers a harsh, rapid spike in your blood glucose. Think about exactly how your body feels by 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Your energy completely bottoms out. You feel a little irritable. Your focus is gone. And suddenly your knuckles, your lower back, and your knees feel tight, swollen, and heavy. You usually assume you just did too much yard work the day before or you slept in a bad position. But what you are actually feeling in that moment is systemic metabolic inflammation. You are feeling the direct physical result of your blood sugar spiking and crashing, perfectly combined with a daily chronic lack of vital minerals that your tea just blocked. If you absolutely love the taste of black tea, I won't tell you to banish it forever. Drink it plain. Keep the steeping time incredibly short. And whatever you do, do not drink it right next to a heavy nutrient-dense meal. But